Hello everyone. I hope you guys are having a great day. So for today's video, we are going to be playing more rapid as I am trying to get to 2400. I had a brutal loss last video, so hopefully we can make it up for today's video. Lost 21 rating, that's a big amount. So yeah. All right. So we have black here. And oh, seems like our opponent is in either not on or I'm actually gonna check because actually I had to turn off this. Huh. Okay, so we have e4. We are going to be playing the Sicilian. Again, my goal is I'm still trying to master this opening. And I know, sure, I know that this is a very popular opening, but if I have to have an opening where I can fight against the best players, right? So I do play the modern, but it's for against like I don't know the lower rated players have really good theory memorization, but they rely on that too much, and they don't have the best understanding of their position. All right, so I should have played knight f6 first. That's what I've been like switching back to. But we can definitely just transpose this into a regular Simonov. The knight c3 is what most people play anyways, so but I guess also knight f6 forces knight c3. But knight c3 is just a move that everyone plays. It's really safe. Okay, g3. Okay, so he's playing the open Sicilian between kettle variation. Very interesting. So from what I know, um, or at least from what I remember, I don't think I am supposed to allow knight b5. Sure, I can't play d5 here because then g2 just become way too strong. So, let's see. I can play queen c7 or I can play a6. I probably will play queen c7 first. Bishop b4 is a move, but then bishop g2 and the things are kind of not the best. Let's see. Actually, I'm seeing maybe a different line here. I don't know if bishop b4 would work. Bishop b4, bishop g2. I can maybe go d5. It will then be a very, very open game. So then I think I'm not the greatest in open games. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna play kind of more modest, keep pieces on the board, and not trade everything. Bishop g2. Now we just play a6, and we kind of have this like this is sort of a hedgehog setup that we have here. If we had to play d6 and b6, we're going to have it. a3. But if the thing is like this move is kind of useless because if we were going to play bishop b4, we already gonna play it anyways. So the move kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. I was thinking of potentially going bishop c5, but I kind of end up not liking the move. So now the downside of, for me at least, right, playing against a being kettle bishop is that I can't play d5, and nor can I play b5 because of potential, actually, yeah, potential discoveries that I have to watch out for. Um However, I can just play d6. I can just kind of play modest and put my pieces here. And if takes, we just going to take with the c pawn. There's nothing to be scared about. So d6, queen d2 makes a lot of sense. Now here we can actually play knight e5. Matter of fact, because we can throw in knight c4, forcing white to play b3. But why are we doing that when? I mean, the thing that makes me want to go knight e5 is that white will play f4 eventually. But I guess then I could just play knight a5. I don't have to play knight e5. Knight e5, of course, is a better, kind of a better centralized move for the knight overall. The thing is, after queen e2 and bishop e3, if he plays f4 now, then it looks a little bit silly. Okay, he does play f4, so I don't know what is kind of like the purpose here. So we are going to play rook ac8. The point here is that now we're trying to go knight a5 into knight c4. And okay, now he doesn't even notice at all. And the thing is with this, if now he can't play b3 because we are going to take the knight. So h3 prepares c4 is very typical in this type of setup where white will try to just like focus everything on the king side. But what's happening right now is that he's not caring about my threat, which is something that, you know, a lot of players are not aware of. So also I also saw that my knight is actually protected. So then if anything happens, like say knight to b5 or something, my knight is not going to be captured for free. So yeah. Now knight c4 is a real threat. Because if we move the bishop back, then we're just going to play knight c4 into maybe knight takes b2, and then we are going to start attacking on the queen side first. Because in this position, it's actually going to take white a while in order to actually like set up a full on attack into my king. And an attack, of course, is scary. You know it's coming, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to react to it. Sometimes you just have to wait for it to come and then you react to it. So like g4 here is actually not that scary. g4, g5 is definitely not. Okay. So we have queen d3, which is actually a pretty good move. So now my guess is knight c4, then bishop c1 will be play. That's my guess. Yeah. But if he plays bishop c1, then it looks very silly. So what is it about? What is it about it that he's playing queen d3 for? And if knight d1, well, we are happy to trade the bishop because the dark square bishop is, I don't know, 90% of the time very, very strong in these type of position. Okay. He's really playing bishop c1, which I technically did not expect it at all. So now we can't take this because it actually doesn't, the tactic kind of doesn't work out. We can maybe try to play e5. What does that achieve, right? And the thing is, yeah, the problem is it doesn't really achieve anything. Queen b6 into e5 is also an interesting idea. However, after queen b6, if white moves the king with, say, let's say king h2, like this, then what do I have? Well, I maybe I have this. This is a threat. My calculation is probably going to be queen b6. If b3, now we play e5, and we are not scared of this because this, and then we trade, it kind of goes into our favor. So, do we want to do that? Also, I just realized there's no way. Knight a4. Knight a4 was actually something that I was a little skeptical about, but I guess since there's no knight a4, then I could just play queen b6. Like, white just literally undeveloped the bishop, which is not something that white should do. And the thing is, allowing knight c4 is already not a good thing for white. Because in most positions, white either trades the knight or keeps the knight in order to do something. And usually my knight is actually kind of not allowed to. Or even if it goes there, it doesn't do anything. But now here it actually does quite a lot. So, and actually here, funny enough, there's actually no e5 either. I kind of miss e5 here. But there's no e5 because my knight is targeting this. It's really likely he's going to play b3. And then we are going to play e5. And the thing is, if we trade queens here, we are fine. We're completely fine. I was thinking of play b5 first. Because, like, the thing is, after trading queens, we might have to give this pawn. Maybe even the whole queen side up. To get some sort of compensation. However, playing b5 is a little bit slow, if I have to be honest. So, maybe there was there other sort of tactic that I was kind of unaware of. Actually, yeah. This is probably a very important moment for me to work on, like, tactics. I could have actually played e5 first. Because if takes knight f5, maybe it's not so good, but okay, king h2. So white is sacrificing this pawn, which is very interesting. I'm going to take that. So, and now I'm trying to see how white is going to defend. Knight c to e2 is a move. Also, a move is knight d to e2 or something. And accepting this, like, pawn sack is definitely a little bit risky, especially when the queen is actually trapped here. So in the next move, I have to move my queen, or I'm getting trapped. So knight c to e2. Kind of saw that coming. Knight d to e2 actually, not knight c e2. Sorry. So let's see. What do I want to do? I could play bishop b5. Although my question is that is it worth it to give up the pawn? Give up, well, not give up the pawn, like allowing white to get the pawn back. Well, I think knight d2 is a little bit inaccurate. Um maybe. Actually, is it inaccurate? Maybe. Maybe not. Bishop b5 takes queen takes, a takes, knight to c4. I can play rook c4, right? Yeah, I can play rook c4. And if rook here, then I can play b4. Okay. I kind of like that. Um and the thing is, like, if white moves a queen and I just take this, and then I just take the knight. So I can actually just pre-move this. This is, white will probably just have to take the bishop. Because what I'm doing is I'm kind of giving back the pawn by doubling it and allowing white to potentially gain it back. I think in this position is probably okay. Wow. Oh, I see. I'm seeing what's going on here. Okay. Sure. We can take. But there's now the question is, do we want to play b5? Though the problem is, if we don't play b5, white's going to play a4 perma target. And I kind of don't want that. But we're just gonna take that. We can play rook c2. Well, rook c2 doesn't necessarily do much. Also because of this. Oof. Also, there's like rook b6 kind of stuff as well I might not want to deal with. I think we are going to play b5 here. If a4 happens, well, it is what it is. So maybe we can try our best to like protect the pawn or something. As long as we were able to put it in a dark square, then we should be fine. So let's go here. And since there's no queen, then now all we need to do is activate our pieces. Because the most active piece that we have, but we traded off. Okay, knight d4. Oh, I see. Oh, I missed knight c6 completely. Okay. So then, well, okay, then we have to play this. We have to give the pawn back. Damn. Now this is just now it's just a complete draw. And the problem is the draw isn't good for me, so the draw isn't actually that good. But white pawns is actually slightly weaker, so maybe we could do something about it. Or at least, or it's not weaker, it's slightly more vulnerable in a way. Okay. Just playing. Kind of understandable. Understandable. But why? You know, why? The thing is that rook a7. Rook a7 allows bishop d8. Oh! There's e5. Well, okay, there's e5. E5. Bishop d6. I mean, what is bishop d6? I think if we went bishop f8, it would have been bad because e5 now works. I mean, sure, we can play d and then takes. Actually, I don't think it works as well as it should be. So rook takes b5. I mean, it doesn't lose a piece. I have to say that because I kind of thought that it did for a second, but it actually doesn't. So like, okay, but I am going to play bishop to b6 here. Rook to a4. Now we're going to capture, and then we play this. And we are going to play knight e8 because e5 is going to happen kind of sooner or later. And I don't want to be forced to take this. And I will reactivate the knight after I start moving the king. Okay. So, well, e5. Now here's the thing. I want to actually play d5 to lock this off. And also, now that the pawns are in the dark square, my knight can potentially do things in the future. So, and f5 is not a scary move at all. So, we can like knight c7, knight b5. This is like the best route for white for me to go, because g6, knight g7 just f4. It's g4. Sorry, it's g4, and there's probably nothing going on here. So let's play knight c7. And we are only going to play knight b5 if white plays knight c7 because we don't want to step into a pin. And we are going to play g6 in order to open a window for our king to move. Maybe we could play f6. We'll see. h4. Okay. I think now the ultimate question is, do we play g6 or f6? The problem with g6 is that we can't really play f6. But the thing is, we need to put everything on the light square so that blocks off the bishop here. h6 isn't a good move. f6 is not really. So let's just play g6. Now we can start moving. Now we can actually start moving. See, now this is where our knight will come in very handy. So let's play rook b2. And now we're going to put Now we're going to play knight b5. And actually our knight is going to do very well here. Knight to c3. And if you notice, the king is actually in a pretty dangerous spot. We don't have to play king g7 here. No, we don't. Okay, we're going to play h5. Okay, he plays bishop g2 again, which is very weird. So now we play knight to e2. And now we're going to win the pawn on d4. Actually, no. So the white's threatening is not actually knight d4, but rather rook to b3. So now bishop to f1. Can't play knight takes f4. But we can just play knight here. Knight takes g3. And then we can just win 2 pawns. Bishop to a6. Now we play... Now we're going to play knight to f5. And then we're going to win the h4 pawn as well. There's also another way to do this. Then we're going to win the 3rd pawn. With rook to f3. And rook takes e4. And now we're completely winning. And now knight f5. If he trades, well, we happy take it, right? So because we up 3 pawns, and we're also cutting off the king completely. So and the rook is protected. So now we just kind of don't care. We're just gonna play g5, g4. And we're just winning. This is just an easy conversion of 2 pawns and the king, because the thing is, if there's no king, 2 pawns and a king beats the rook. So we're gonna play here. We're gonna play g3. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much, right? Okay, let's just play h3. Okay, now we have to use the rook to support. Rook to g6. He actually can't take this because I'm just gonna play this. Okay. So he's that. I kind of messed it up a little bit, but doesn't matter. I'm still completely winning. Let's just take trading pawns. It's gonna be fine for us here. King to f6. Okay, 2. Yeah, I'm kind of messing this up for kind of no reason. Let's go here. Let's go king here. Okay, so now I think what we're gonna do is trying to put the king on c4. That's what we want to do. The rook is safely protecting both of the pawns. So there should be nothing going on here. Rook to c5 would be nice. But now we just play rook g7. Now we play king b5. Um. Okay, so okay, I think here we are good to play rook h2. H7, I'm sorry. Because we're now threatening h2. Okay, so now we're just gonna do this. Gonna take 4e5, e4, and let's go rook a. Rook here. We're going to support it this way. Props to our opponent for not resigning, but it's a. I kind of messed up the technique there a little bit, so. Okay, this is getting a little bit annoying here. This is the part where I am like worse than a master, is I should be able to kind of see these move like immediately. But I usually hesitate and try to calculate it out instead of. We're just winning here. It's fine. All right, we finally get the win. Okay, so let's see. Kind of screw this up. Well, we didn't really screw it up, but it was equal, very equal, right? I think we had an advantage at some point in the game, but we kind of screw it up. So let's see. Yeah, this was the moment, right? Here. Yeah, see? Black is already much better. Okay, so I played the best move. Knight d2 is the best move. Knight b d2, knight e2. Wow. Okay, so I played the correct. Wait. Uh-huh. What is wrong with takes? And knight d4. Yeah, because white can just sack the pawn back. Black I can just sack the pawn back. There's nothing scary about it. So rook ab1 doesn't do anything. Wow. Now we just play e5. Knight f5, we should have f8. Rook takes b5. Rook takes e2. And white gets. Black gets the second rank. Black even sacks back the pawn. Black even. Yeah, black just like sacked 2 pawns here. So g6. Knight e3. Rook e2. Knight. Oh, doesn't work. Okay, so b5 here was not good. Oh. So I didn't trust rook c2 because I saw this. Well, actually, the main thing I saw was this, not knight there. Okay, so we just protected. And if a4, okay, knight d7, knight c5. Yeah, I was pointing at rook b6 for no reason when there's literally knight d7. So okay, that's kind of my bad. But yeah, h3 was a very questionable move. Yeah, because here white has to take. The downside of playing like the Fiend Kettle Bishop is that the bishop actually doesn't aim straight at the king. It's aiming at the queen side. So as long as I evacuate all my pieces out of this diagonal, I'll be good. And that's what I did. So yeah, it was equal for the pretty much the entire game, but I'm the only one with winning chances. Yeah, king h3, which is a mistake. Yeah, rook a3 has to be played. I mean, he didn't see this. So, but it took me, I don't know, way too long, I guess. I kind of screwed this up for no reason. Like, it should have not take like 30 moves for me to convert this. So, but I definitely play a very good game. Like, this is probably one of the best Sicilian game I've ever had. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.